Welcome to this special edition of Paranormal Insights. I'm psychic and author Joseph Ernest Martin, and today from the San Francisco Bay Area, we have Javier Sandoval from the Awareness Life Expo. Javier is going to be telling us about the newest conference to hit the West Coast. With him is author Ruben Uriarte from MUFON and UFO researcher author Bret Lueder. Now, Javier and I have known each other for some time. And at his conference, the Awareness Life Expo, I'm actually going to be speaking on Sunday. Now, Javier, how can people, just like right off the bat here, make time on their calendar to make sure they're at the Awareness Life Expo?
Well, I think it's going to be a great conference, and I think, it's on a weekend, so it's always good to be on a weekend because that's when everybody has free time. But just it's going to be incredible because of what we're having, not just ufology, but we're going to have psychics, healers, and motivative speakers that know about different modalities of healing, and we're going to have hands-on healing also. So it's something to go to. So it's got a little bit for everybody.
If I was going to mark my calendar, what would I be marking?
You got to mark it the 13th and the 14th of August over at the Crown Plaza Hotel at 1321 Dade Avenue in Sacramento, and it's gonna be good. It starts from 7 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night.
That is a lot of time. Now, I got to tell you that last year I was at Javier's show that he produced, the UFO conference, and it was absolutely marvelous. We got some great interviews. It was amazing. Now, Javier, you've been involved in the UFO field for some time. You've had abduction experiences. You know the people that are good to know that are doing the good work. How hard is it to put together a conference like this?
Well, it's really hard because there's so many people out there, but what I try to do is I try to bring people in that have new information, because when you go to conferences, they seem to be random, and so I'm trying to shake it up a little bit so you have variety, and so you get information and you get proof, because the people that I bring in, they actually bring artifacts, and then I have footage. When my research, I take a lot of footage, and I have night vision, so I also show you night vision. So not only do you get to hear them talk, but you get to see stuff. And that's one thing that you go to conferences, you really don't see anything. You just hear the talks, but what do you see, or what can you touch?
Now, one of the things that happens at your conferences is the newest of the new information gets shown and presented. Would you agree with that?
Yes, we had some amazing time over at Contact and Dare not too long ago, and there were several of us over there, and they were catching a lot of things on regular cameras and night vision. So there's been a lot of activity. So all the stuff that I get, whatever I get, and then we also share with other researchers, we bring it all together and we show it at Awareness Life Expo, so that way you get the newest stuff. So there's always new stuff coming in, and other people can bring stuff to a show too. We want people to we encourage them to bring stuff so they can share it with us too. We want to see what they have.
And Ruben is going to be part of this amazing event, Awareness Life Expo. And Ruben, for those of you who may have seen him on the History Channel, among many other shows, is also involved in MUFON, which is the Mutual UFO Network. And MUFON has been more active now than ever before. How exciting is that?
Well, we're growing internationally. We've, as well as locally here in the United States. Obviously, these kind of conferences bring new information and attracts people, and hopefully a lot newer people, particularly the youth is the target group that we would definitely like to get. But I feel like I'm among family. I've known Bret and Javier here for many years, and every different conference has a particular theme. So this is a good one. It's going to, as Javier talked about, it's going to cover a variety of topics that hopefully will bring many people who are interested in those topics together under one roof.
And Bret and I actually met a long time ago at one of the UFO shows, and Bret was filming and doing all sorts of things there. And you've been a busy guy. You've authored a new book.
A UFO Hunter's Guide.
Yeah.
It actually came out in late 2012, and it was just my kind of attempt to empower the average person to find their own answers, because I don't think we're smart by waiting for the government to tell us. I don't think it's in their best interests. It's not good for business, in other words. Things like free energy are associated with UFOs, and what powers these UFOs. Something like that would totally disrupt the economy according to the people that have the power. And so it makes UFOs, this is just one of the things that makes UFOs such a controversial subject.
Now, you just said free energy. Now, I got to bring this up just like super quick. If you go on to YouTube and you search free energy or over unity devices, there are so many that are up and working. Some that produce additional energy that makes it kind of feasible. Others that produce just barely over unity. But this whole thing is part of your interest in research, because if you've been seeing Bret on his Facebook page, you know that he's staying abreast of all kinds of topics. And if you don't mind me saying so, you're not shy to express what you think about them.
Well, I think the time's passed for keeping secrets, right? I think this is a global issue. UFOs have been with us for tens of thousands of years before recorded history. If you want to look at a standard academic approach to history, our history goes back much further than what is standardly accepted, and UFOs have been with us the whole time. So the big question becomes, why are they here? For me, it just becomes a spiritual thing, because I think humanity is in a current state where we are asleep to some degree, and the UFOs are here because of that for one reason or another. Are they the good guys here to help wake us up? Are they bad ones here? Are they demons, like a fundamentalist perspective might be? I'm not exactly sure, but I'm having a lot of fun trying to figure it out.
Now, this conference is not just going to be about UFOs. There are a lot of topics, Javier, that are going to be presented there, and a lot of things that people can get involved with. Like you're having Lori McDonald. That is kind of UFO related, right? She has an experiencers group. But what are some other things people might be able to see or experience at this show?
Well, there's a new person that's on the agenda is Paul Barbaro, and what he does, he does shamanic healing. Also, he does hands-on healing, and he has a couple books out, and we're going to have some workshops. We're going to have a lot of workshops for a lot of people. So we have workshops for healing, therapy. Then we're going to have also Richard Dolan, that he's going to have a workshop too for everybody, and he's going to be speaking at our conference, which he's a historian. He's been researching it for a lot of years, and he's like nuts and bolts, and he goes straight to the, he doesn't add anything to it. He puts it the way it is, and that's what I like about Richard Dolan.
Now, Ruben, you know Richard Dolan.
Oh, yes.
What do you think, Richard Dolan? He's been on recently Hangar 18. Is that right?
Oh, Hangar 1.
Hangar
yes.
1.
Hangar 1. That was with the History Channel. With the History Channel, and of course that focused on a lot of the cases that MUFON has been investigating over the years. And as Javier had stated, Richard is a very, very well-known historian. Really covers into the whole dynamics of the conspiracy in terms of disclosure, and also a lot of history. The whole, because this, I think Bret mentioned this too, that we're dealing with a topic that goes back eons of time. So a lot of our research is based on historians or people that are focused on what were those connections with man's ancient past and how it relates to now, because what's happening now is also a reflection of our past.
Now, Bret, I know that you've been looking at not only the topic of UFOs, but in kind of a societal way, where authority figures or what have you are manipulating information or protecting or not disclosing information, where all this is concerned. Do you feel that that's lessening now, or do you feel like we're still headed toward a lot of misinformation and a hidden agenda?
Absolutely. There's no reason for the status quo to change. Business as usual for the government, let's say, to make a big story short. There's all kinds of facets of the government, right? And black ops, little secret projects and stuff going on. So I'd just say the government, just to kind of blanket that all. But there's no reason for them to let up, because look, this is, in my view, I've been studying this for about 15 years. This is a spiritual thing. So let's say the dark forces, to simplify, they don't want to give up power. And part of that control on the people of the earth is with the use of money, with the manipulation of laws. I have a friend of mine, William Henderson Everone. He's the grandnephew of Jack Pappy Henderson, the pilot that flew the wreckage from Roswell to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. he basically calls it tiptoe tyranny. And so because human beings have such short lifespans, little things can be done and then people will die, and then the next generation is kind of oblivious to it unless there's a chain. And so our culture has kind of been broken. The chain from the elders to the youth has kind of been broken, at least in the West. And again, UFOs is there with us the whole time. I think we have a different relationship with them now because of the situation that we're in. And, you know, the government is in business. They're in business to make money. The United States of America was made into a corporation in 1868, and they're for profit. So it's not in their best interest, really, by business definition, to help people unless it makes them money.
Now, with that said, if you're going to get money from people's pockets into a coffer, a government coffer, what's the easiest way you feel the government uses to make that happen?
You mean like the IRS?
IRS is one.
Traffic tickets, revenue generation through traffic tickets is huge. Little ticky-tacky fees in every government institution. I have a friend that put a backhoe onto his property, moved a couple shovels full of dirt. Now he's getting sued by the county because he's doing environmental damage. When maybe right next door is some big business who paid the county off and is completely destroying their whole land that they just bought. So there's an imbalance here of what's going on. For me, the trend seems to be towards destruction, whereas this is only happening because humanity has lost touch with who it is and who we are collectively together. Because if we stand together and really speak up for what's right, I think everything will change. But getting everybody on the same page, I mean, come on. I mean, I was just here for the warm-up of the show. Talk about getting a whole world together on the same page. It's a tall order.
It's a tall order. And there's another point with this too, which Bret's alluding to with government stuff, and that we don't even think about, because, you know, when you're indoctrinated into a system, then you stop seeing the system. It's just how things are. But I want you to consider this thought, and I'm going to ask Ruben about this too, is my father, who was a police officer, lieutenant up in Chico, California, he, even though he was a police officer, he was kind of enlightened in some ways, and he said to me, you know, your mother and I, we want to buy a house, but you can't even own a house in this country. And me being a kid said, yeah, you can. Houses are for sale, and you see them for sale, and you can buy a house, and you can own a house. And he said, no, Joseph. In this country, you buy the right to rent your house from the government, and because of taxes and other things. And that struck me in such a profound way. Why don't people know about this more, Ruben? Just generally, knowledge about what's really going on. And if someone were to come to the show, Awareness Life Expo, are they going to be exposed to new ideas and new thoughts like this too?
You know, maybe that question maybe directed to Javier, that perhaps you might have one of your speakers that might be focusing on the whole aspects of the controversy of our economy, and probably Bret, obviously we'll be covering that. But right before we talk about, there's something else that when listening to Bret, obviously the spirituality is a big picture of this, the whole metaphysical connection. And one of the areas of research that I've been really interested in, because it's affected me personally, has been the whole area of crop circles. And we do have a person, Patty Greer, who's going to be a speaker, and she'll be showing her research. But the phenomena is shown in so many different ways, and the whole thing of crop circles has always fascinated me over the years. The symbology behind it, and also the complexity and the controversy, who makes them and why, and all that other stuff. But that's just one of the very many aspects that's going to be discussed at this conference. The variety of speakers and interesting topics.
So if you have other interests, if you're concerned about the future, if you're concerned about what's happening in your life, even in a practical way, what you're saying, Javier, is that at this show, you're going to be bringing together such a diverse group, giving such diverse information, and it really is about awareness and your life, and then what you can do about it. Is that right?
Yeah, that's why I called it Awareness Life Expo, because I want people to be aware of the contamination. You know, we need to go green. We need environmental, So we're gonna cover all these areas: psychics, energies, healing, free energy, and also free energy with healing, because also you can heal people with energy, and that's what they don't really want you to know. There's so many things that people don't really know, so we're going to uncover a lot of secrets, and we'll share it with people, and people that have been doing these, and it's been working for people. So that's what we want to do, is raise the awareness. That's why I called it Awareness Life Expo, because it's all about everyone all together, and then you can see different things. You're not just focused on one thing. Wow, I didn't know about that. You're already there. You can check out something else and say, wow, I didn't understand that, and I like it.
Yes.
So we get a broader people, and you don't get bored. You say, well, I didn't know about that. Now I know about it. So it gives you just more of an understanding. And I think when you understand something, you become more balanced.
And I have to say, too, you know, I took my mom to the conference. And, you know, it's my mom. She's a mom from the 50s. She's an Italian mama. She's great. And so she went because her son, Joey, wanted to go to the conference. So I took her, but what she got out of it was amazing. I can't tell you how many times she said to me, I didn't even think of that. I never even knew that. She goes, actually, I'm shaken. I can't even believe that's true. So there's that enlightenment part, but there's also, she just had a ball. All the new products and vendors and people there. It was just like a fairyland. As a matter of fact, I think she went a little crazy buying crystal jewelry at that show. She just loved it so much. Now, Ruben, right now on the planet, there are so many people carrying high definition phones, which are phones that are cameras, that are video recorders, that are audio recorders. Is MUFON getting inundated with new information?
We are getting inundated. And part of the issue is that because of the use of the phones and because of the technology, that has really increased our amount of reports. When we're getting it worldwide, and that's what's really neat about the internet. Before it was a whole different process, but because of technology and the fact that we're accessible on the internet, and they come in such varieties, either on YouTube, because a lot of people will utilize their work on YouTube, or they'll take their copies of their videos from their cell phones and send it to us. Not everything is a UFO. I mean, some of those things could be mistakenly an object, what we call IFOs, identified flying objects. It could be birds, it could be something related to the weather. But then again, there are some things that are totally unexplained, and that's what we look at. We do have photo experts that will really look at those particular videos, depending on the complexity. Because, I could see something, but it's better to go up the chain of command and have some other point of view. Someone who's more trained and have more from a scientific background that could give you a proper evaluation.
And doesn't Hillary Clinton actually, she won't say UFO, by the way. She just does not want to say those three letters together.
Oh, she says UAP, which is
yes,
which is the same thing actually. But we'll see what happens. I know there's some controversy about not only her, but the other gentleman that's running. But if she does follow through on this one, where she promised the American public that she's going to open up the files, but she did clarify, and this is the word we have to be careful of, as long as it doesn't go against national security, and that might be her fallback. But the fact that she's willing to address this. Hey, you know what? The fact that even the UFOs is in the election process is good.
That is a good thing. It's really good that she even said UAP. Mm-hmm. That's really good. But Bret, what do you think the chances are that's actually going to happen? That she's going to crack open some files and give us stuff?
There's nothing more awkward than seeing a newbie try to throw around UFO terms, right? Mm-hmm. Most people just say UFO, right? Newbies would say UFO. Okay. She's only doing it to placate people to get votes. She has no real intention of revealing anything, or at least revealing as much as she needs to placate people. The whole truth will never come out from a government person. That's my firm belief.
I think that although there's some powers that some other powers behind the scenes that are focusing on whether or not to release this information, but it doesn't have to be United States. I mean, it could happen, it could come from Russia, it could come from China. That's the whole, what's interesting about this topic is everyone's waiting for our president to release it, but I have a feeling the disclosure is going to come from another country, and then what?
And then what? Exactly. Now, Bret, if you were going to mention something at the Awareness Life Expo that people didn't know about already, that they're, because like UFOs, we saw the X-Files, right? And there's like 100 alien shows on. Well, I think right now there's 100 vampire shows on, to be quite honest. But if you were to just to put your finger onto what you think is where our attention should be, what's really happening right now in our little America microcosm, what might that be?
I risk of being boring, really. I think we're at a time as a society where we really need to look inward. And each individual needs to take responsibility for themselves, work on their own issues, because I think that's going to really affect how disclosure happens. Look, disclosure is just a perspective. If you really study your history, you know that disclosure's already happened. People are already aware that they're here. Disclosure is just a very narrow perspective. A capital D disclosure, as they refer to in the media, is very narrow because society's been programmed to see things from a very narrow perspective. So narrow that we think we don't know that UFOs are there, when really we do, and we've known for a really long time. So that's why I wrote a UFO Hunter's Guide, really, is just to kind of just let people know that this isn't some subject that they can't grasp. I know when I jump into it, man, it was like all this different stuff. What do earthquakes have to do with UFOs? Or what do crop circles or abductions? What do all these different subjects have to do with UFOs? Really, UFOs is the center of it. And we could pick any topic and I could relate it to UFOs.
So, Bret, people are going to be listening to what you're saying. They're going to see us all here talking about all this weird and interesting stuff. If someone's interested in your book, interested in your work, what's an easy way for them to get a hold of you?
Right now, just on Facebook. Yeah, my website got hacked last summer. Really, it's been easy on me. I know other researchers that have had their work stolen, work destroyed. Government agents will come in their house and clean them out. So I've been really lucky, but it's par for the course for a UFO investigator to be tampered with on some level.
So Facebook, they can find you, they can follow you.
That's right.
And I got to tell you, you got to follow Bret because I read his postings every day and they are amazing. Ruben, how can someone get a hold of you?
My research associate, Mr. Noé Torres, and I have a website called roswellbooks.com, and that's one way you could get on it, and the audience could look at a lot of the research that we've done, the books that we've been able to publish together. Also, and we also work with other authors as well. And also for those folks that are interested in the whole MUFON connection, we do have MUFON.com or MUFONNorthernCalifornia.com.
And that's great because people can then send in reports or send in their pictures if they need to, right?
Exactly. But also what's really cool is that we've updated, there's a lot of new information out there and it's posted on the websites. That's even I'm just amazed by the amount of information that's been coming in. So I really recommend someone to look at those websites.
Fantastic. And we saving Javier for last here, really.
Well, I want to mention one other thing. Ruben, he has meetings of MUFON if you want to go to his meetings in San Jose, and that's if you can ask him all kinds of questions because he knows a lot of stuff. So if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, you just trap him in San Jose, just look under MUFON, and he has meetings every month in San Jose, and we'll be happy to see you there. I go there all the time too because I always like to see what new stuff he comes up with.
And MUFON has meetings all over California. Yeah. So wherever you are, you're going to find something kind of close to you. Now, Awareness Life Expo, which I am so thrilled you're doing this show, Javier. I got to tell you, I'm so excited to be part of it. I'm so excited I'm going to be bringing family and friends. Are you kidding? We're all going to be coming to this thing. How can people find you easily and put on their calendar and buy the tickets and all that stuff so that they can be part of the Awareness Life Expo coming up in August?
Okay, all you have to do is just go to awarenessproduction.com. It's pretty easy, awarenessproduction.com. Or if you want to get a hold of me, you can go on Facebook at Javier R. Sandoval, and you get a hold of me there. And if you go to Sacramento, we're on Facebook, and we're also on the internet. So, and then if you go to Jimmy Church also Fade to Black. He has me up on his website, and he's gonna be one of the speakers there too, and he's gonna be one of the persons holding the we're having the panel, the UFO panel. So we're gonna have a UFO panel, and there are gonna be questions. You can ask questions from the audience, and there's gonna be everybody's gonna be there.
Tell them about the party or the gathering.
We're gonna have a big,
most important.
It's always gonna be a big party. We have a good mixer, and if you want to get those mixer tickets, you have to just go on the website. They'll have different packages, and if you get the gold package, it's guaranteed to go to the mixer, and it's gonna be really good because we have really good get-togethers. Not only that, but you can really ask questions to the speakers. You have Len, you have Patty, you got Lord McDonald, you have Margot. There's just so many great speakers. Paul Barbaro. Then we have Holly Cook, and just so many other Eric Diedemeyer. And just all those speakers are phenomenal. So we're really having a really great bunch of people. So you're gonna all have fun. It's gonna be like a big family gathering.
And if all these people are endorsing this show, you know it's going to be a good show. And I'm going to just add a little bit about the mixer thing. That is something I never miss, because it is so great to be able to rub shoulders with the people who are doing the research and ask them questions and hear their stories and what they've gone through to bring this information forward. And just want to stress also for Awareness Life Expo is it's an event that's going to contain so many different amazing elements. You're really going to enjoy it thoroughly. Javier, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ruben, taking time from your busy schedule all over the place. You're such a beautiful, amazing, integrous fixture in the UFO community. And Bret,
Thank you, sir.
thank you so much for being here. Your writing is amazing. You got to follow him on Facebook. I'm telling you right now, because he has so much to say that's important about waking up the planet. I want to thank you so much for watching us. Look at the information you've seen at the bottom of the screen. And of course, you pick up the information additionally in the end credits. We want to answer your questions and address your topics. If you have a question that you want answered or a topic you'd like us to look into, we're easy to find. For private one-on-one psychic sessions for your personal questions on love, health, or money, you can find your answers by calling 510-387-3328. Or you can find me best on Facebook or my website, questtarot.com, or email me at joseph@questtarot.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Vimeo, and YouTube. Simply search Joseph Ernest Martin or Paranormal Insights. And be sure to watch our series, The Magic Minute, exclusively on YouTube, where you'll find easy-to-use magical techniques to improve your life, because it only takes a moment to make magic. And when you watch, remember to click like and subscribe after viewing the video. Send us your questions and topics so we can share our paranormal insights and answers from beyond the ordinary.